Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a quick little knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Civivi Placoid, which apparently is how you pronounce that. What does that mean? I guess it's like the sharp scale, or a sharp scale on a fish or a shark or something. I'm not really sure, but it has something to do with pointy objects and fish. In 2024, I'm sure that companies are somewhat limited on things that they can call knives. Despite the name and me not really understanding exactly what it means, this is a really good knife. And it's got a cool element, including some shred G10, which is not, sorry, the camera doesn't know what to do with that. It's not a material that we see a lot. The price on this guy is, I believe, about $53, $54 for 14C28N and typical Civivi quality, which is really, really great. I'm going to let you guys know, I'm going to recommend this knife. It's a really good knife, but I am going to go over the little details here for people who want to know. I will link this down in the description. You guys can check it out if you want to. It really helps my channel when you use those links before you buy something, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and measure this knife. It is on the larger side, not another small EDC knife. We have almost 8.75 inches, about 8.65 inches by my measurement. Blade length is about 3.85. Cutting edge is about 3.75 inches. How about some size comparisons? Any custom scales in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and Others. You can see here it's about the same length overall as the AD10, just not quite as robust, way bigger than something like the AD20.5. Let's put it up against the Spider. I am so tired of losing that thing. There we go. This knife is invisible. The Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3, larger than both for sure, but more cutting edge even than the PM2. And then finally up against the Benchmade Grip Tillionaire, in this case the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How's the action? Civivi typically has good action, and this is no exception. No double clutch, nice smooth action, nice detent, nice flipper tab, well placed and well shaped thumb studs. Those are really, really nice. Look at that. These are super comfortable thumb studs, not the kind that we'll poke into. I will point out though, disengagement of this lock bar, it's a decent lock bar tension for it being a liner lock, and it's a bit toothy. But this is not a whole lot different than a lot of other Civivi liner locks, especially the ones that are lipped and not nested. So it's not the worst, but you'll definitely feel it, especially if you open and close it multiple times. But generally speaking, it's exactly what you'd expect. It's really, really, really nice. And it's nice and clicky. The detent's really good. It just feels natural. Let's go ahead and do carry profile thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It is on the thinner side, even with the steel liners underneath the scales here. Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. This really didn't carry like a large knife. Like every time I got it out, I was like, this is a bigger knife, I guess, but it's not. It just doesn't feel huge. And I think height-wise and lengthwise, it just doesn't feel that much different than the PM2, especially when it's not even as thick. So it is a larger knife. It just doesn't carry like a huge knife. I don't think most people are going to have an issue unless their pockets are like super shallow. Let's go ahead and weigh it. What do we have for materials here? We have 14C28N, a shred G10 steel liners, and a steel clip. I'm going to guess the weight is probably on the higher end of 4 ounces. Yep, 4.7 ounces. I'm getting good at that. It only took me 4,700 uploads to be able to kind of guess weight correctly. Oh man. Yeah, we do have milling for weight reduction on the inside, which is good. It should have the weight reduction there. So balance on this knife is just behind the Capsule Corp logo. I mean the Civivi logo. So pretty good. Honestly, the whole thing just feels really, really balanced. It doesn't feel like a heavy knife. Let's go ahead and get out my tools for a hardware check. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel, or the pinned comment. We have the typical Civivi T8 for the pivot and T8 for the body screws on each side, just 2. And then we have 2 T6 screws for the pocket clip, which by the way, is mountable for both right and left hand carry. That's minimal hardware and all T8 except for the clip screws. So we're good to go. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness, which is almost certainly about 115 thousandths. That would be my guess. Let's see. Yes, very close. 117 thousandths there. So on the thinner side. Okay, meat and potatoes time. This is real straightforward, guys. This This isn't reinventing the wheel. It's nothing like, oh my gosh, I've never seen it before. But it is a really good value. It's the combination of Civivi's typical good execution, right? 14C28N, which is usually a material that Civivi charges more for. It's also on the larger side, which is something that Civivi and many other companies tend to shy away from. In the budget world, you're much more likely to find something on the smaller side, right? And to cap all that off, you have Civivi's usual edge, which on this blade feels really good. Man, this thing goes through cardboard like butter. I really like the blade chip. I suppose you could call it, I don't know what you want to call it, the modified reverse Tanto, something like that. I'm not really sure. It looks good. It's very, very thin. And the thumb studs don't completely clear the cutting path, right? But it's just a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch. You have a lot of cutting edge to work with for a knife that is very, very comfortable. You know, on this knife, I still don't love the pocket clip, but at least it's on the back half of the handle. So even in the standard grip, as a right-handed person with the pocket clip mounted correctly, and it's that stupid Loch Ness monster clip that I always complain about, not really much of an ergonomic issue. It feels like a user. It feels like a comfortable user knife. This is a knife that I could use for a long period of time, and the knife's going to do the work, not you. The blade is definitely set up to do that. We've got good jimping in an appropriate spot to complement the index finger. Good position here. Good position here. It's also a knife with the blade pointing slightly down, so some draw cut situations are going to be easy, mostly slicing and cutting tasks. It also looks really good. I like that the badging is only on the pivot, and then somewhere over here, I think really small, yeah, down here, I'm not going to zoom in. It says 14C28N. So yeah, not a whole lot to say about the blade. It comes in a couple of different scale configurations and a couple of different blade configurations in terms of finishes and colors and things like that, but I'll let you guys look that up yourself. We have, like I said, mounting positions on both sides for the pocket clip. Definitely the coolest part of this knife is just the Shred G10. Some people aren't going to care. There's no difference in terms of, you know, what you gain from G10 in terms of utility or strength. It's still G10. It just looks cool. For people who want their budget knives to have a slightly more interesting factor here, this does play with the light a little bit, and it does sort of look frosted over. I like Shred G10. I also like it when we have companies bringing elements to the budget world that we don't typically see. It just makes these knives look a little more interesting. The best thing about budget knives is that they don't cost very much. The worst thing about budget knives is they tend to be a little bit boring, and that's why we see so much of the same stuff. Fast forward here to 2024, where every company has figured out the formula for a really good budget knife, you end up with an ocean of stuff that just looks and feels identical. Most of it's good, especially with the companies we're familiar with, but it's also not really all that different from the next knife, right? So as a reviewer who puts his hands on everything, it's nice to see little tiny things, no matter how minor, little tiny things that just make certain knives a little bit more interesting. And I know many of you will be right there with me on that. No backspacer, just a couple of standoffs. We got a little lanyard bar back there, which is great for people who absolutely have to attach a lanyard to their knife. Deep carry clip, Loch Ness monster bill. It's going to grab stuff, you know, as soon as you walk by something, you bend that clip out, but Civivi is apparently married to this clip, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. We have a stop pin that's located in its traditional position with some shouldering. No blade play up, down, left, or right. No lock stick, no double clutch, no pivot lash. Smooth and consistent action. Nice medium detent. And then we have perfect centering back there. And by the way, Civivi does a really good liner lock, so you don't have to worry about it disengaging as long as you're using it correctly and not pounding the spine of your knife into a Home Depot table with vinyl upholstery on top. So, what's the verdict? Just like I said at the beginning, it's just a really good budget knife. I mean, yeah, your competition at $50 is vast. I mean, you have a lot of choices. Just here on my channel, on my Cheap Knives I Like playlist, holy moly, I have 260 uploads just in that category. There's a lot, right? I think the most budget knives that were released in any year was this last year. And a lot of them are really, really good. So this kind of falls into place there. Legitimately, though, all of that being said, I do think that this is probably one of the best budget releases of 2024. Is that saying a lot? Not really. The best budget knife release of 2024, and legitimately the best pocket knife under $75 ever, in my opinion, is the Vosteed Raccoon with the top liner lock. That knife has a lot more going for it than something like this. But for people who are on a strict budget, this might be a better choice. Or if you don't like the look or the size of the Raccoon, right? So if you buy this knife, it's $50 well spent. But if you're looking at this knife, you're probably looking at a lot of stuff. So Just wanted to add that in there, but this will be going on my most recommended knives playlist because it really is a good tool and it looks nice. I like it. I also like that deep blue color. That's just nice. And it'll obviously go on my cheap knives I like playlist because I like it and it's under 75 bucks. But that's going to be it today. Short and sweet. I actually did a quick review. Oh my gosh. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.